Okay. Okay. So we have Shack, Dr. Shack, back with us today. Of course, he's no stranger to our community, and we're always grateful for his insight and his inspirational talks that he shares with each and every one of us. Of course, the talk title for today is I'm Not Colorblind. Shaq, we're certainly grateful to have you back with us. A little bit about Shaq. He graduated with a doctorate in higher education from the University of Kansas back in 2014. He was, of course, born and raised in Turkey, where he earned a BA degree in foreign language teaching from the Black Sea University. And of course, he has an MA in educational studies from the University of Cincinnati, and yet a second MA in communication and leadership from Park University. And of course, he published his first book, Global Warming of the Hearts, back in 2018, followed by I Am Not Colorblind in 2020. So, pretty impressive there, Mr. Shack. Anyway, without further ado, we will go ahead and turn the floor over to you at this time. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, thank you. It feels like I'm with you all the time. It's Has anyone wondered why I got another like master's degree? I can say that not to get deported.
Ah, oh boy.
Just to be able to stay in the US legally, I got this second master's degree, which actually changed my life. Which helped me to publish two of my books. The first one was Global Warming of Hearts. The second one was I Am Not Colorblind. So initially, I honestly didn't want to get that master's degree because after, master's and PhD, I felt like burnout. I just didn't want to, but that was the kind of one of the only ways for me. But yeah, that kind of changed my life. That my professor was a great person who accepted my book as a master's project. So I'm like, wow, okay, that's how both of the books came about actually. But yeah, and I've been in the US for 18 years, actually late August. So August 30 or 31st, so which I'm not sure which one, but 2007, August 31st, I moved to the US. So I will be celebrating the beginning of my 19th year in the US. It's hard to believe, but because years ago someone said he has been living in the US for 10 years, and that sounds too long. I wasn't sure if I could live survive for 10 years. But here I am, 19th will be the beginning of 19th year. And during that time, I have met people from all, backgrounds. Definitely, I came with my own prejudice or lack of understanding all these cultural differences. Yeah, but all of these experiences helped me to be more color aware and color minded. Color aware, I think, is a better term. During that time, I also came from a country, Turkey. Uh, Not sure about how other countries like approach that wording. I am colorblind or I am not colorblind, because in Turkey still it is used more as a positive word. I am colorblind. It shows that like you kind of treat equally to everyone, and that's probably the mindset before that term. I am colorblind. Even actually, I got some comments, feedback from my Turkish friends when I published my book. Oh, they say, "Oh, you have a typo in your book title," and they thought I meant I am colorblind, and instead the book said I am not colorblind. Then we had to talk about this cultural differences, especially in the US. It is more a negative term. Again, I think not everyone, even in the US, is aware of that. So I'm gonna actually share my screen and to talk about it, but a couple of personal experience until I met an I met a Catholic person. Most of the things I heard about Catholics were negative. But I have this experience with, Jewish people. Until I met a Jewish person, most of the things I heard about Jews were negative. And it was same for all the other groups. I think most of the other groups. One day I was sitting at a Panera Bread on the plaza and talking to a pastor who reached out to us. And he was just interested in doing some interfaith work together. And finally, I asked like which denomination he was, and he said Southern Baptist. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything I heard about these guys were so negative. Now I'm talking to this Southern Baptist pastor, like, what am I gonna do? But I had this experience. Let's say I was at KU, especially my KU years. I was the president of Study Turkish and Dialogue Student Association. With the Study Turkish group, um, it was so interesting. Like 70 not students, like 70 people signed up to come to our classes, Turkish language classes. And among those 70 students, staff, faculty, students, and community members included. But one of them was very interesting. The guy was from Armenia. And Armenia and Ottomans, which is, Turkish ancestors, have this animosity in the history. Although a lot of like Turkey as a country or government, they don't accept genocide, that happened in 1915. It is still a controversial topic. So it is, I had never met anyone from Armenia in my life. Plus, I met this guy from Greece, and I had never met anyone from Greece. So it was all like a little bit tensious, but especially with the Armenian student, I was the presenter that day. We did the orientation, so I had to look professional. So when he said he's from Armenia, the only thing I could ask, like, were you born in the US or like Armenia? But I was kind of shocked also, but that's the best I could ask. And later we became so close friends. We had Russian friends, we had definitely American friends, and those Russian guys, again, in my mind, Russians only drank. So you cannot really talk to them. They always drink, drink and drunk. But so they one day my roommate invited them to our home, but I was kind of nervous because I am more comfortable with Americans, at least like sports, basketball. But with Russians, I never met any Russian either. So I'm like, what am I gonna talk to these guys? But it took maybe 10 minutes. Then we just started talking. It's interesting, actually. My dad is a businessman. My dad has a wholesale shoe business. And in early 1990s, with the collapse of Soviet Union, a lot of Russians started coming to Turkey to do like business. And my dad actually did a lot of business with Russians. So I just started sharing this story, and we just really became close friends. And sometimes like they came to our home at 10 p.m. and they left at 4 a.m. and we only drank tea. And one thing they told me, oh, we never thought we would have fun without alcohol. But now we are having fun with just drinking tea and chatting. But imagine like 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. So really with the Greek guy, I am still a friend with him. He lives in St. Louis and we still talk to each other. And this Greek guy was interesting also. Like he chose Islam after he was practicing Orthodox Christianity. He chose Islam, but even so, in my mind, he was Greek before like he is Muslim. So at the mosque when I met him, the other like guys were teasing us. Oh, like start fighting. That we have this trauma, so it wasn't really funny to us. It was more really trigger effect than being funny. But at this point, we are still friends. Now I'm gonna share my screen if you don't mind. I guess you are able to see my screen. By the way, I don't see you right now because I did full screen. So yeah, this I don't see color or I am colorblind expression, I think always comes with a good or mostly comes with good intention. People think they treat like others equally when they say I don't see color, I am colorblind. Someone had said we should be colorblind when it comes to justice system. Maybe that's acceptable. But other than that, really seeing the color is always appreciating other person's culture, and that may create more curiosity and really learn from one another. And the other person also just feels appreciated and they feel like they are valued and they can share something with the dominant, with the people from dominant cultures. And kind of I explained a little bit about my background, living in the US, for many years now. Definitely I look different from other people but it's, definitely, less than Muslim woman who wears mostly have a headscarf. So, but people come to me and speak in Spanish and they expect response from me and I just look at them. I don't know much Spanish or just a few words of Spanish. I may look a little bit Hispanic to some people, but also at KU I met a guy from East Turkestan, which is part of China. He thought I am from his country, East Turkestan, but he was able to speak Turkish, interestingly enough, so we talk in Turkish. Definitely, I have a different accent, so it is kind of recognized. And sometimes that's how we start making friendship with people from different backgrounds. Actually, I'm gonna actually mostly like share some poetry from this book. I am not colorblind, just giving this background information a little bit. In the Quran, actually, we are encouraged to see the color. In the Quran, that is 49:13. God intentionally designed this world to know one another. Um, and that is actually diversity is emphasized in the Quran. We have created you from male and female and and into tribes, and so that you get to know one another. So the Quran mentions that we all come from different backgrounds, but also at the same time, we should like spend time to get to know one another. And differences are more gifts and honor to appreciate. Even, we may be from the same country, same color, we would still have, individual differences. So even just saying, oh, like Jewish people believe like that, or African Americans, like believe like that. So it would be hard to make that generalization when it comes to human beings. To me, every individual has their own unique belief system or unique culture, unique color. um yeah, even yeah, I think when we treat and approach people as an individual and really value their presence and their belief, at that time we have more success in interpersonal communication and really make an impact on those people's lives. Throughout my life in the US, definitely I have shared so many like cultural exposure, cultural traditions with people that sometimes like a Jewish person invited us for a Ramadan dinner, but also to a Sabbath, to a Passover dinner or Sabbath dinner, on a Friday evening. So that doesn't mean, I am Jewish or I kind of accept whatever Jewish people do, but it is more a respectful cultural and religious interaction. So it's not just like one-sided, like, oh, everyone wants to learn about like Turkish culture or Islamic culture. But here we honor, say, like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of the one of our favorite holidays that sometimes different churches or different individuals and families invite us. So that allows us to see the color in American people, what they really celebrate. So it's not just like, we want to kind of live in our Turkish towns like Chinatowns or Muslim towns. No, we want to be out and also learn and see the color of the both the minority but also the dominant culture, the US color here in this country. Or when Christmas or holiday season comes, we go around and share our gifts, homemade baklava, by the way. And if any of you, I think Kim and Doug kind of fortunate enough to get those gifts. But if any of you wants to get that baklava gift during that season, just send me an email and we will make sure to give it to you. So I want to share some poems about this actually. I think the rest of my presentation will be more about the poems. So I am not colorblind. This is the head cover of this poetry book. I am not colorblind. So their dream was to bring equality humanity to humanity. Their role model said in his farewell speech, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black over a white. Their dream was not a colorblind world, but one that sees every color, appreciates, loves, and embraces their richness and uniqueness. Their goal was a world where no dialogue institutes were needed, where friendships come naturally and no one had to say, we don't discriminate by race, ethnicity, or belief. A world of trust where doors stayed open and police unnecessary. Is Smiling Free another poem that I want to share? This came out about like 8 years ago after the attempted coup in Turkey. A lot of people had to flee from Turkey because they were targeted. And I got to meet a few guys in Dallas, Texas during a meeting. And I knew that they had to flee from their country. So they were in a room, but they just looked so upset. They didn't smile at all. So I had an early morning flight. So I was staying overnight at their kind of dialogue institute. But I just tried to make these guys like smile a little bit. So I was, but at the same time, I wasn't sure like how to approach because they were away from their spouses and their kids, so I didn't want to like look so insensitive to their problems, but at the same time I didn't want to just focus on their problems to make them more like depressed in a way. So finally one of the guys were smiling. We went to market to do a little bit of shopping and ate together. But one of the guy asked me if I was married at that time, and I said no. And he responded, "That's why you can smile." I was like shocked. And he meant, he was away from his wife and kids. That's why, he cannot smile all the time. But anyway, that was the inspiration. Is smiling free? A man with a white smile, his favorite saying, smiling is free if it costs nothing. Why don't we all smile? Some wear anger, some carry sorrow, some grow quiet, some hide in shyness. Maybe it's loss, parents, sisters, children, freedom. Maybe it's hunger, loneliness, the ache of being left behind. But when love is near, when home is warm, when a hug, a laugh, a piece of chocolate for your child awaits, then, my friend, you have a better chance to smile. And we used to organize birthday parties at retirement communities. And there was an elderly woman who always like looked very upset, but also looked angry. And I thought she didn't like us. Like she that wasn't enjoying our presence there. But she came like 3 or 4 months in a row. And finally she talked to us. And before that she never talked to us. Finally, she talked to us and said, "Thank you so much for coming." She does not have any visitors and she appreciated our presence there. So that also inspired me, yeah, sometimes people don't really smile. And yeah, and maybe that's the reason, loneliness. The word refugee was foreign to me until maybe 10, 12 years ago. It's been actually, I think now 13, 14 years ago when Syrian people started coming to Turkey. It never made sense to me why people get on a boat with the risk that it may be capsized and leave their country. I never understood that. When I was at KU, I had a Chinese friend. We always played one-on-one basketball game, but there were also other Chinese that he never wanted to invite. So when I once they, I asked you, would you want to invite them so we can do a pickup game? He always said no. Later, I think he trusted me and finally said he doesn't want to trust. He doesn't trust those Chinese people, the other Chinese guys. They could be agents to the government, and he wants to bring democracy to China, so he would be in danger. I was really shocked. How can people from the same country just be away or like are fearful of one another? But now my own country, Turkey, had been experiencing human rights violations at a high level that thousands of political prisoners in Turkish prisons. So now my own countrymen now tries to flee their own country. So this is how this poem came about. The boat of the desperate people. Each day a horror movie, not watched but lived. Children cast as the main actors. The night before, a friend farewell, a broken boat. Unsafe yet the last cure for a cureless wound. At dawn, with trembling hands, they dress their little ones, kiss them through tears, and walk toward the sea, the boat of the desperate people, the boat of false hope, promising life, delivering death, denied safe passage. Their stories sank with them, unseen, as if only cinema could hold such pain. And we, when strangers suffer, when children die, do we really do we truly feel, or do our hearts turn away, silent, unanswered? When George Floyd was, murdered a few years ago, these were the words that I got inspired. Today, I am George Floyd. My happiness cannot be selfish. If it is only mine, it is hypocrisy. After George Floyd's killing, I cannot say my friends are safe, while his family weeps. When one is killed, all humanity should grieve. Oh, Mom, I think I can't breathe. But don't take my revenge in anger. Maybe my parting will awaken hearts. Maybe it will set us free. Oh, Mom, I still don't hate. You only taught me love. They asked me to hate, but I cannot breathe in hate. I can only breathe out peace. You showed me how to turn hate to love, and to those who seek conquest, say you can only conquer hearts. Have you ever heard of invaded hearts? Never. Peace is never born of coercion. The word refugee, back to the refugee point. The word refugee is usually, I think, implies someone who is in need, someone who always needs outside help, who lives maybe in a refugee camp. Once we can feed them, that's okay, then that's enough. But I think when we look at our lives, when we receive help, that's not our, highest point, I guess. When we get more happy when we help others. So initially, you wanna be definitely free, then you wanna gain your independence, but the ultimate goal probably is being more a contributing citizen. So that's actually, I think, what most people wanna experience in life. And sometimes refugees are the ones whose colors are not seen. So here is this poem. I am refugee too. You don't care what my name is, so I gave myself this one. I am refugee too. I never asked you to look up to me, only prayed you wouldn't look down. I never begged you to play with me, only wished you wouldn't make fun. I am refugee too. Yesterday, I was a CEO, I was a businesswoman. Today, you call me R2. I'm refugee too. If I came to your country, would you call me guest? Would you share your tea, your bread, your home, or give me what's left over? I am refugee too, not only fleeing war, but seeking refuge from unkind words and unkind hearts. I am refugee too. Here is another one. My last name is Refugee. You ask how much does a refugee woman cost? She is priceless. A single mother of two, an innocent mother. Oh people, humanity has not advanced. Only the years have passed. Adam and Eve were the first immigrants, and their children shed blood. Jealousy then, jealousy now. Yet still, I have reason to be peaceful. Do we not dry our clothes under the same sun, feel the same warmth, grow our food with the same rain? Yes, I have reason to be peaceful. I don't know if you know this soccer player, Balotelli, from Italy, but unfortunately, he was exposed to racism during the game, during the live game. People were making monkey sounds or throwing bananas, and he couldn't tolerate it. He couldn't take it, and one day he just during the game sat down and started uh, crying. So I wrote this for him. Genocide. This is for Balotelli. Thrown a banana in Italy. Commit genocide against hatred. Massacre the jealousy in your heart. Grow a flower of hope. Kindness has every color, not blind. All shades reflect goodness, compassion, forgiveness. Balotelli, you are the black color of kindness, the man of honor. And honor killing for you means killing hate. Plant forgiveness, save humanity. Embrace the world. I may be human, I may be monkey, but I am alive. These are his words, by the way. A little girl sees the banana, thinks it's a gift, pure innocent. She smiles, not knowing the insult. Balotelli hugs her, hides his tears, carries centuries of pain. Once they worked for minimum wage, yet gave their maximum smile. Humans multiply, but where is humanity? Are we moving forward or falling back? Wow. I think this will be the last one. This poem came uh this is more after attempted coup in Turkey. As I said, some people had to flee from Turkey and live in refugee camps. They come from a culture who always help others, who have been famous for their hospitality, but now they are the ones who are in need. Hope and promise. A single mom with two daughters, fleeing those who would steal her freedom. Her dream to live in a camp in Germany. Not enough food to nurse her twins. She named them Hope and Promise. Before her husband passed, she told him, hope so they never lose it. Promise so they will serve humanity. At the border, exhausted and detained, the police asked, do your daughters need milk? She burst into tears. No one had asked for days. The babies smiled, and so did she. It was the smile of hope. It was the smile of promise. Her dream was not richness, but to sleep in the same room with her babies. Yes, in a great tent. The color of hypocrisy. Yet she would transform, prepare breakfast for neighbors. But she remembered no fridge, no coffee, only a line of 300. When her turn came, she gave it away to a hungrier mother. Different skin, different tongue, but it didn't matter. Their color was the color of water, the color of equality, the color of hope and promise. Wow. Thank you so much. Here.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Shaq. That was just beautiful. I mean, very thought-provoking, heartfelt. That's like a dream world, and I think it was designed to be that way. We've just kind of gotten away from that. So thank you so much for sharing that love, all of the insight, and we certainly appreciate you always sharing your knowledge with us and your love as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dan, did we give Susan a chance to do meditation? Or I know she did the prayer at the start.
Uh, Susan, if it's okay, we can go into meditation right now.
Sounds fine to me.
Okay.
Well, once again, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Imagine your happy place. Go there. Go there and sit in the silence. Let the words that you have heard this morning sink deeply into your mind, into your heart, into your soul. Be at peace with these words. Give welcome to these words. Reflect for a moment on the colorfulness of the world we have just glimpsed. Imagine the opportunities of the colors we have seen. Welcome these colors. Enrich your soul. The possibilities are boundless. for expanding our vision, for embracing the colors. Imagine your heart staying open beyond Sunday morning to the richness of the colors, always. Feel yourself relaxing into what is. Imagine yourself always open, available to the colorfulness and the colors of this world. And as you feel comfortable, maintaining your feeling of peace and openness, gently come back to this place, to this presence, to our meeting together. And we give thanks to Shaq for this wonderful opportunity to expand our souls. Welcome back. Thank you.